Hello, everybody. We are so excited to be here together again on our Tuesday Avini Health testimonial call. We have some wonderful testimonials, brand new, lined up for you today. And I'm Robin in California. Thank you for being with us. If you're brand new, we appreciate you coming to our call. If you're listening to the recording, oh my goodness, it's life-changing. And so we want to share this information. We have all natural products, an incredible company. We have a wonderful business opportunity. We always want to invite you to join us with that. We need more people to help us get the word out. We want to share with the masses. We have something so urgent, so dramatic, something that can help people get their lives back. We have natural products that are unique to help you heal yourself. Your body's created miraculously, and it can heal itself when it gets the right help. And that's what we have with Avini. So we don't make any medical claims. We're not going to talk about disease names. It's about you getting the right help and your body doing its thing, and then you coming back and sharing with us on our calls as what is happening, and that gives hope to other people. So with that, I would love to introduce our CEO, Neil Roth, today. He's got some information for us, and I also asked him to share his testimonial too. So Neil, come on board, please.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. It's not very long till we're all together here in Las Vegas. Hopefully everybody on here has gotten their tickets and they're on their way. I can tell you, as we're getting closer and closer and we're getting readier and readier to do this, this is going to be the best and the best summit that you guys have ever been to. I mean, it is so chock full of information, learning, growth. You name it, it's going to happen at this, as well as fun and a lot of good eating. So make sure you're taking your trim science before you go, so you don't have to worry about it when you're here. Okay. I wanted to remind people of a couple of things. Obviously, please join, get here, get to the summit. The second is there is still a contest going on for the summit. Okay, so that means that if I don't know how many people you brought in since January 1st, but between now and the end of this month, you could win up to $1,000 towards the cost of going to the summit, which for some of you will become profitable to come to the summit. Okay, so I would definitely keep going on that. We'll be sending out in the next week or so the form to fill out if you've made it. We look forward to it. The other announcement that I'd like to make about the summit is we have an Emeralds and Diamond dinner on Thursday night. It's not just a dinner, it's an evening out. You guys would be amazed at what we put together for that. And I'm now going to open it up for Ruby executives. So if you're a Ruby executive, you'll get to go. But if you're almost a Ruby executive, I suggest you put the pedal to the metal because you don't want to miss this. Okay. So please join us at that. It's going to be an amazing evening, the first of many over the next few years for sure. So let's talk a little bit about Avini, okay? The real reason for Avini being here are the products. When Rick and I decided to move forward with this company is because we knew we need to get these products in people's hands. And from my standpoint, I'm a product of the products. I don't know about you guys, but we all need to be a product of the products. And I've been a product of a lot of these particular products for a long time. I mean, I've been taking the Cell Defender, the different versions of it, probably from before it actually came out, because I was working with Rick on it way back when. I've taken the mushroom products, the new Trim Science products. I've taken variations on the theme over the years that Rick has put together. So, I do take all the products. I've been using his version of Plus Relief for many years. Many of you know that I love to play tennis. Okay. I try to play tennis. I used to play tennis 7 days a week, but you guys have stopped me from doing that. I'm really upset, but I still get to get out, 3-4 times a week at least. And the problem with that is I have bone on both my knees. Okay. I mean, it was 50 years ago, the first time I wrecked it. So there's a real problem with that, other than the fact that I do a couple of things. I do have some stuff put into my knees on a every 6-month basis, like a cushion, but that just allows me to walk without pain. I have a Beamer. I don't know if any of you guys have a Beamer, but if you've got problems with with different joints and stuff, but the thing that only and really only helps me is our Plus Relief. Our Plus Relief by far allows me to play sports. I mean, it's just amazing. My kids are out here. We went out and we shot some basketballs. Okay, I played basketball in college. Probably been 20 years since I tried, but I was still able to run around. And again, the reason why the Plus Relief works for me is because I do both. I do both the spray, and I put on either the roll-on or the gel, and I do it often. For me, I have to do it, at least 3 times a day. I do the spray, and at least twice a day I do the gel. And I definitely do the gel just before I go out and play. Trust me. Okay. So, from a standpoint of products, look, the detox, it's funny because, as many of you know, I was in the retail drugstore business where we sold 27,000 items. People always are telling me, well, if the product doesn't work for me, I don't know if I can sell it. Well, trust me, most of those 27,000 items did not work for me, and I didn't try them. Okay. That was called part of the business. But for me, the fact I've been on detox all these years, I've never had a specific reason for taking the detox. But what I can tell you is in the past 3 years, I haven't gotten, knock on wood, I haven't gotten sick. I have, I was told because of antigens that I had COVID, but I never knew it. I haven't had a cold in years. Okay, when I wrecked my Achilles tendon, I healed in 3 months. Excuse me, in less than 3 months. They told me it was going to take 6 to 7 months at my age. He said I healed like a 15-year-old. There's only one reason that happened is my immune system is so strong, it allowed my body to fix itself. And that's what we tell people. You take these products, your immune system grows, your immune system is strong, it's poised to fight what it needs to fight instead of fighting the stuff that we're bringing into our body, unfortunately, the heavy metals and the toxins. And all of a sudden, we're able to be healthy. So if you're healthy, take the product. So you stay healthy. If you wanna be lose some weight, do the trim science. You need the fiber. I've been taking that fiber since 1996. Okay, you have to take that fiber. We do not get enough fiber in our system. We do not have the correct fibers coming into our system, the oat fibers, things like that, that will actually reduce our cholesterol, will help us lower the blood sugar, will make our bodies being healthy. The advances in the mushroom products are amazing since the first time I've taken them. So over and over, all I can tell you is that if you want to be healthy, this business is really about being proactive with your health, not waiting to get sick. And what should I take now that I'm sick? Stop yourself from getting sick by making yourself healthy. So, I really don't have a lot more to say about that because you hear me ramble about it on a regular basis. So, it's what I really believe. And if you really believe it and you understand it, you can't help but go out and talk to people. I talk to people all day. I'm not a distributor and I talk to people all day long. Okay. I love it. Let's help people. That's what it's about. Robin, I'm going to give it back to you.
Oh, wow, Neil, that was awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. What a message you gave us. So many things there. Thank you. I'd like to bring Darren Sliva on right now, and he has somebody brand new that he's going to bring on, and they're going to share their testimonial.
Yeah, so I didn't even know she was going to be on. So I got this all ready and she's actually here. So I was just going to share real quick what she has going on. Again, we can't make medical claims and we can't say certain things, but she has a condition going on in her body and it's been going on for quite some time. I'll ask her to come on here in a little bit, but she had sent one of those before and after pictures of her eye. And this condition she has there's things in her body that shouldn't be there. And she just started on the product last night. We got a picture this morning before and after. I'm actually going to do a screen share and show you guys what's going on here. You'll see the before picture, you'll see something in her eye. The after picture, you'll see a difference. So hold on a minute. Let me get this up here. Can everybody see that? Everybody see the difference? That is less than 24-hour difference, which is pretty amazing. So I wanted to share that. I'm going to bring her on. Joy, I know you're there. Can you unmute yourself? You got to unmute yourself, Joy.
Hello.
Hey, there you are.
Oh.
Go ahead and feel free to share, share with everybody what, in a nutshell version, what's been going on with you. And
Okay. Yes. Mhm.
and then we'll go from there. So you got the floor, Joy. I think she froze.
With me, thanks
Right
to
there.
Laurie. And I've had this condition for the past almost 8 years, and it's been very debilitating. Filaments come out of my skin, some type of material like gel-like comes out through my skin, and it feels crawling in vibrations and movements like a wave of water running up from feet to the head. It's really scary. The vibrations, sometimes they get to a point where they hurt my feet. And the crawling, it feels like a insect crawling, but it's under the skin, nothing to the naked eye. And that has been going on for past 8 years, on and off. Daily, any of those symptoms can happen. Thank God they're not continuously nonstop, thank God. But nevertheless, it's very debilitating and irritates my nervous system. It makes me very exhausted. I'm very edgy, say the least. I'm glad I live alone in that respect. And the stuff that comes out of my skin is just horrific. All kinds of different filaments. I don't know how descriptive you want me to become, but it's pretty bad. Do you want me to be descriptive?
No,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. You don't have to be
Okay.
totally descriptive. We don't want to scare people half to death, but
Okay.
yes.
Basically, the symptoms are very debilitating. I can't work. I haven't worked for past 8 years. And my mindset is, I've tried so many protocols that I'm at the stage where before I tried anything new, I'm excited to try something new. But shortly after that, the symptoms kind of temporarily go down and then they pick up again. I don't know if they build a tolerance or something, but so mentally I'm at the state where, oh, that's not going to work either. And I caught myself thinking that way, like twice already with 2 different protocols. And when I learned about Avini product, I was like, wait a minute, you're not going to think that way. You're going to have to give it a chance to this one. And I stopped myself from wanting to go thinking, oh, this isn't going to work either. But I'm not saying my mind is strong enough to, influence the outcome of anything. It's just, it's been my experience because this disease is not a human disease. It's not a normal thing. So that's why I'm so skeptical about products. But I tried this product yesterday in the name of Jesus. And with all the encouragement that I heard Darren and Steve and everyone's support, that I felt like, oh, this is God sent medicine, and I'm gonna just take it. I'm gonna try this. So I immediately put it in my eyes because I feel daily like sand in the eyes. Imagine if you get sand in the eyes, even if a little tiny piece of something in the eye, you just feel it bothers you. Well, the whole eyeball, it feels both with sand-like. And there's this gel-like material that I wash, and I put different eye drops and different things, and it just, nothing takes it off. It just keeps building on. And the eye color, the brown eye color, it's starting to cover with the biofilm or whatever that gel-like is. And so it's really spooky. And the crawling in my eye happens too. One of those things got stuck in the back of my eyeball and I couldn't get it out of there. And I took a lot of anti-parasitic products and a bunch of other stuff. Hopefully it'll kill it. I was just like imagining the worst. If my eyes get damaged, you know, the most precious part of, I think, and I was just very hurt. And that's when I met Lori on Telegram. And then I spoke to Dave, and I've been very encouraged by everyone. Now I don't feel the movement. I don't know if it's done, and I hope it is. But as far as the stand like feeling in the eyeballs, it's not there right now. It just, my eyes feel like I can see better. And this started last night. I put 3 applications in my eyes for like from 5 o'clock till 10 o'clock. And this morning, you fill up my eyes with the solution. It's almost half the bottle, but I can see now. I can see better, and it's amazing that none of the products that I've tried in the past have worked this well in such a short time. I'm amazed with this product, and I'm very grateful. And I thank God for this product and everyone on this group. Thank you so much for sharing.
Joy.
And as far as the other symptoms, well, maybe it's just too short. You know, it's not long enough. So
Well,
thank you so much.
we're surprised. I'm sorry, Darren, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're really excited for you and to be with you on your journey. And we're looking forward to updates, so you can let us know. I know we're looking kind of forward to next Monday, even you being on Darren's call and giving us more updates. Thank you, Joy, for sharing. And we appreciate you so much. So in one night and one day probably isn't long enough to get more benefits, but you know what, you've already gotten some awesome things out of your body that isn't supposed to be there. And you know, that's what we see with Cell Defender, is it makes an environment, it creates an environment within the body, and the body's able to force things out that aren't supposed to be there. You know, we see that with a lot of people with parasites, things like that. We're not making any medical claims at all. And just want you guys to know that there are a lot of things out there in our world that we come in contact with that we have no idea how we got them or whatever, or why they're in your body. But isn't it awesome to have something so simple that we can take that doesn't hurt you? Anybody can take it. We can give it to pregnant women. We can give it to babies. We do not have to worry about who to share the Cell Defender with. It's so safe. You can share it with anybody. Same thing with our Nano Silver, and all of our products are amazing. So thank you, Joy, for that. We look forward to your update with Darren on the Monday call. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Darren, for bringing that to us. All right. I would like to bring Thane on. Thane, you've got some great things going on with your whole group. What would you like to share today? Are you there with us?
I'm here, Robin. I'm here. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm frantically trying to get rid of 6 inches of snow that arrived today.
So sorry about that.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry, right? Anyhow,
I'm sorry for you, but I'm glad it's sunny here. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Can you hear me okay? Is my headset doing me any justice?
You're doing, I can hear you clearly. Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So interestingly enough, you know, there miracles abound for all these products. Julie just shared an update with her daughter, Kesley. Kesley is the 3-year-old girl that was having neurological short circuits in her brain. And she, for about 1.5 years, was not showing any symptoms or interactions, if you will, no sense of emotion, and zero communication at all. And interestingly enough, over the course of less than a month, she's now starting to listen to voice commands. She's starting to interact with her grandma. Julie told me that one of the most painful things that her mother was experiencing is when they would go over, when Julie's mom would go over and see Kesley, and Kesley didn't know who grandma was. She didn't show any interaction or excitement. And it actually hurt her mother. So Kesley's grandma, to see the fact that Kesley didn't want anything to do with her. And she, of course, didn't appreciate, she couldn't recognize who grandma was. But the other day, Julie made mention that her mom went over to their house the other day. And of course, Kesley, she's starting to talk, starting to appreciate, voice commands and starting to basically just open up and flourish. But anyhow, Kesley's grandmother came over the other day, and Kesley immediately lit up and hollered out grandma, and then ran to give her grandma a big bear hug, and just absolutely melted everybody's heart because of the fact that here's a little girl that was non-vocal, didn't show any emotion. Basically, like I said, she was having neurological short circuits in her brain. And now she's actually starting to show emotion and things of that nature. So, the products are absolutely beautiful. Possibilities are endless. I heard a report from an individual that had started taking the plus energy because of the neurotropics that's in there and everything else. And here's an individual, I'm trying to figure out how to tell you this, but here's an individual that ever since he was a little boy was having basically blackouts. And he, in and of itself, with these blackouts, would basically wait for his brain to reboot, kind of thing. And he wasn't so severe to the point to where he would fall on the floor and flop around violently. He wasn't that severe. But with Jacob, his condition had caused him to have several car accidents and total several cars to the point to where he almost killed himself. So he's having these issues continuously. But he started taking the plus energy because of the neurotropics and how it's supposed to aid and assist your brain with functioning better. And he told me this morning that when he feels these episodes coming on, he's still cognitive, he's still aware, and he can feel that his brain is getting close to having a short circuit, but it never does manifest in him blacking out. He can still be cognitive of what's going on in his surroundings. So the neurological ability for Jacob to witness firsthand these experiences instead of completely blacking out is heaven sent. This is what he's been looking for all of his life, and he's been struggling with this ever since he was a little boy. So, wow, holy cow, wow. Absolutely brilliant. Anyways, I've got so many more stories, but my goodness, Robben, I'll save some time for somebody else. I love this.
Well,
Absolutely love this.
Thane, Dr. Tony, you introduced me to Dr. Tony today, and can you, I don't have my notes right here. Do you remember the 12-year-old's little testimony that came in? And do you remember what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you share that real quick? Just a quick, what he told us.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's actually Troy, Dr. Troy Crane.
Thank you. I'm sorry. You're right.
No, you're quite all right. Fascinatingly enough, Dr. Crane, he's a chiropractor, and he had a woman and a child come in, a 12-year-old little girl, and anyhow, she was having visual tics, and she would just kind of dip her head to one side time and time again. And of course, Dr. Crane, he says, well, let's see what we can do for a physical adjustment and see if we can help you with that. And then upon leaving the office, he gave her a bottle of Cell Defender and instructed her how to take it and everything else. And over the course of 1 week of doing the Cell Defender, they came back in for a follow-up visit, and her visual tics had dramatically decreased a great deal after just 1 week. So, you think about that. Here's a 12-year-old girl, nonetheless. Sometimes little, young ladies of that nature, they're worried about, their clothing, their hairstyle, things of that nature. And now there's a good possibility that this visual impairment might disappear in process of time which will boost this little girl's confidence throughout her life. So, I mean, you think about it, little things like that make all the difference.
Absolutely. That is life-changing big time. Thank you, Thane. I appreciate that. And Brianna, are you with us? Can you unmute and share your testimony? And then you had one that you shared yesterday that was awesome too. Are you on? Oh,
I'm
go
here.
ahead, Brianna. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. So, let's see. My story starts several years ago. I'm a mom and I've got 4 young kids. And all of a sudden I had noticed that my hair had started to fall out. And it wasn't just a little bit, it was a lot of it. Like covering my hands in the shower. It was horrible. And I've got fine hair to begin with. So any hair loss is really bad hair loss. And so it was really stressing me out. And I started having these huge bald spots all over my head. And so I started to kind of search for answers. Well, while I was trying to search for answers, I also noticed that anytime I ate anything, my gut would just hurt. So I thought, well, maybe I'm eating something bad. Maybe I have an allergic reaction to something, it doesn't sit well. So I started eliminating things from my diet, gluten, dairy, sugar, like all these different things. I was taken out to where I was basically eating nothing. And still, it didn't matter. I could eat an apple and my gut would just hurt so bad. Then I noticed that my body just, it would hurt all the time. And to wake up was so hard for me. I would have to set my alarm an hour before I was supposed to get up, just so that I could basically will myself to get out of bed. And when I got out of bed, it didn't matter if I had 6 hours of sleep or 12 hours of sleep. I felt like I had gotten hit by a Mack truck. Every joint in my body hurt. And I'm 33. I'm like, this should not be happening right now. That's not a thing. So I was looking for different answers and going to different doctors and practitioners trying to figure out what's going on. And it was really frustrating because a lot of my tests kept coming back normal. My thyroid tests were normal. My blood tests were normal. Like all these things were normal. And they said, well, maybe it's just postpartum hair loss. And I was like, my kids are too old for that. Like postpartum hair loss, like 3 years later, I don't think so. And I think the thing that's interesting is, your body, when, your body, when something is happening. And so I knew that something was just really off. And so I finally went to another doctor and they said, well, have you had a inflammation panel done? And I said, no, I haven't. I don't even know what that is. They said, well, let's check your inflammation levels and see what they say. So I had that done. And when I got my results back, it showed that my inflammation levels in my body were so high, they could not give me a number. It was completely off the charts. And in that test, they also test for some different autoimmune disorders. And they found out that there was 2 specifically that I had. And they said, this explains the hair loss. It explains your body aching and all these things. And also another thing that I really struggled with was brain fog. I could be talking to someone and I could not remember their name. I would stop mid-sentence and not be able to finish my sentence or my thoughts. And it got to the point where it was really embarrassing. And even my husband was like, what is happening? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like my brain is just freezing. And I would get so overwhelmed. I remember there was a couple of times where I had some clean laundry that was sitting on my couch. And I remember just sitting on the floor and crying because the amount of energy it would take to fold that laundry just felt so overwhelming. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't even function. I need a nap every day. So when I found out that I had these autoimmune issues, I thought, awesome. We know what it is. Let's treat it. Like, let's fix it. Because if you figure it out, you can fix it and make it go away. And they said, no, this is going to be something that you're going to deal with your whole life. You're going to have flare-ups. But we can try and manage your symptoms. And I just thought, what? Manage my symptoms? Like, no, like make it go away. And so they wanted me to do IV therapy, to go on an antibiotic for over a month to try and kick this out. They also wanted me to, again, change my diet, change my lifestyle, all these things. And I just said, okay, I'll try it. Well, the problem with the IV therapy is it's extremely expensive. And you have to go in twice a week and you sit there for 2 to 3 hours at a time while they're doing this therapy. And this goes on for 6 to 8 weeks. And with little kids, that's really hard to find babysitters twice a week and whatever. And it's really expensive and it's not covered by insurance. So we ended up having to go into debt for that, which was really frustrating. At the end of the IV therapy, I thought, well, okay, this is going to be good. I felt okay. I didn't feel great, but some of my symptoms were, slowly going away, but I still felt pretty off. Well, about 6 months later, I noticed that every single symptom I had was back with vengeance. And I was just beside myself because I'm like, I do not have another $3,000 to go do this for it to only last 6 months. Like, that is insane. And at that point, Thane, I had gone over to their house and he said, well, I have something that you should try. I said, I'll look at it. We're friends. I'll look at it. And he was telling me about it. And I thought, okay, Cell Defender, that's interesting. And I just thought, there's no way this is going to work, but Thane is my friend. And so they have a money back guarantee. So I'm going to try it. And then I'm going to send the bottle back, and our friendship is still intact. I tried the thing, and then I'm going to have to go do my IV therapy. So I started taking Cell Defender, and the first week I didn't notice anything. And the second week I noticed that I was able to get out of bed when my alarm went off, and I didn't need to lay there. And when I got up, it was like, I didn't feel great, but I was not in intense pain. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So then I kept taking it and I kept taking it. And then I noticed that I wasn't forgetting people's names when I was talking to them. And I wasn't getting stuck in the middle of my conversations, and I could finish a full sentence. And I just thought, well, that's awesome. I'm just going to keep taking it. Well, then I noticed that, my gut problems started going away, and I could eat regular food with everyone else, and my gut had stopped hurting. And so one by one, all these things that I was struggling with, it's like a domino effect where it was small in the beginning, and then it kept building and building, and then they just started all falling down. And so also what I didn't say is, in the beginning, when I had started losing my hair, it had gotten so bad that I had lost 80% of my hair. And so I had been wearing wigs at this point for 2 years, and no one knew that I wore wigs. I got really good ones because I'm like, I can't do this. But all my hair started to grow back. So all this is all mine. And I can get haircuts like regular people now. And I don't have to wear my wigs anymore. And all these things that I just struggled with and that were so hard for me, one by one, just got taken care of as long as I stayed consistent. Another thing recently that has been amazing is I have a gene mutation that makes my body not able to absorb specific nutrients and minerals. And it also makes it really, really hard to lose weight. And so since starting the Trim Science, my body has actually started to function normally, and I've slowly been able to that weight has been able to start coming off, because it's like my body is starting to act like a normal body, which has been amazing. So toxic obesity, I really feel, is a completely real thing. And so I'm so thankful for all the different products. And I've also really loved the opportunity to be able to share it with other people. The story that I told the other day on the call. So there's a lady that lives just around the corner from me. Her name is Debbie. She is fantastic. She is 76, and she has been dealing with blood sugar issues for like 35 years. And not only was she taking medication with a pump, but she also had multiple pills on top of that, trying to regulate her blood sugars. Her cholesterol was super high. Everything has been high. Her thyroid levels have been high. And her doctor said, we need to put you on all these different medications, and I'm going to try this specific drug for you. And she said, absolutely not. You're not. She said, I'm going to do something else. And he said, well, it's never going to work. You're not going to be able to get your numbers down. And she said, well, watch me. She's really stubborn. She's from Germany. I love her so much. And so she said, give me 6 weeks and I'll come back and I'll have my levels tested again. And he's like, whatever. So she has actually started taking the fiber and the cell defender. With her fiber, all of her levels her blood sugar levels are in a normal range every day. And this is a woman who was not able to get her blood sugar below 200, even with all of her medications and her pump and different things like that. So her blood sugar levels have stabilized into a normal range, which has been amazing for her. But she just went and had her test done, and her cholesterol level dropped and is in a normal range. Her thyroid levels are in a normal range, and her doctor is just blown away. He's like, well, I guess you don't need those pills anymore. She's like, you're right, I don't. And now her husband is so excited because he was pretty skeptical at first, and he is now starting on the fiber and the cell defender, and they feel so good. And she said, I kind of feel like I'm aging backwards. And so that has just been awesome for her to feel in control of her health and to, have another option besides medications that have side effects that she just really wasn't willing to go through. So it's been awesome.
Hey, Brianna, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Neil, how you doing?
Good.
So when this is just, it's really an interesting question because I know the answer. So when you told the doctor that, when he saw these results, did they ask what you did?
Yeah, they asked me when I got bit, and they asked me,
Oh,
like,
no, I'm talking about when your numbers went down. And he said,
oh,
this other lady I'm talking
oh,
about.
the other lady. So the funny thing about it is he asked her, what have you been doing? And she said, well, I've been taking these products. And he just said, huh.
All
and
right.
she's like, do you want to know more about it? And he's like, I don't think so. And she's just like, yep, bet you don't.
So the point I'm trying to make is, listen, I have a doctor, I go to a doctor, but we're responsible for our own health.
Absolutely.
And that's what you got to get out of that whole thing. You always, you need opinions, but your opinion is the most important.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the thing that, especially through my journey, that I've learned is, you know your body better than anyone else.
Yep.
And if you feel like something's wrong, then that means something's wrong. Whether they say that your test results are normal or not, you have the ability to make a change and to help your body heal itself.
Well, the good news is that the medical profession is consistent in not caring and wanting to know.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Thanks for letting us know about that. Appreciate it.
Well, you bet.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, Brianna, thank you so much. Everything that's been shared today. My goodness, we got to get this call out, right? Wow.
Absolutely.
Incredible. Thank you. Thank you, Neil, for bringing that out too. That's a very important message. Okay, Paige, are you still with us? She offered to share something today that kind of goes along with what Joy experienced. Are you there?
Yes, I am here, Robin. Thank
Hi there.
you. Hi. So, gosh, I get all teary-eyed with all this stuff. I think we need a new ranking system, not what level we make, but how many people we get on this call sharing their stories, because that's the most important thing. Brianna, that was amazing. I'm so happy for you and for your friend, and Thane, you're amazing for sharing to them. I get all choked up. Joy reminded me of something that I have kind of forgotten to share, and it's interesting. There's something she said is similar to something that happened to me. I don't know how long ago this started. I know it was when I was in Florida, so it was well over a year ago, but I just kind of chalked it up to something that I had to live with. There was a spot on my back that's really, really hard to reach. And you can't really feel anything there, like the teeniest, tiniest little scab, like, oh, I had a blemish there and it's gone. But that little teeny tiny scab would never ever leave. And a couple, maybe 1-3 times a day, it would literally feel like something was crawling under my skin. And I had asked Troy a couple times, I'm like, no, look, do you see anything? Because I feel like there's something crawling under my skin. He's like, no, I don't see anything, nothing at all. And I don't know how quickly it happened, but it was quick. It was within, I want to say, definitely less than 2 weeks, maybe a week, when we got our new nano silver back in. Gone. I have not felt it since. So that's pretty phenomenal. I still have that little teeny tiny spot. I mean, it is so small. It's like a head of a pin where it just feels like a tiny little scab. But ever since a week or two after we got our new nano silver back in, it has been completely gone. No more creepy crawly feeling. And so that's been how long now that we've had our new silver? Quite a while. So that's amazing. I am so glad that creepy crawly thing is gone. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you so much, Robin.
Awesome. I appreciate that, Paige, because we don't know, always the reasons why we have things going on in our body that aren't there, but I mean, that shouldn't be there. But isn't it wonderful to have as you call it, the 1-2 punch with the Cell Defender and our Nano Silver to get rid of all those things that aren't supposed to be there and putting our body into a state where those things don't want to be there anymore. And so I'm going to have Chip do that from a science perspective. But let's see, we have a question. How much nano silver are you taking, Paige? I'm sorry, the chat just went away. Oh, to get rid of the creepy crawlies.
I use the normal amount, really, just 5 sprays twice a day. I don't think I really do much more than that. I do spray it on my face probably a couple times a day, and in my eyes, but just the normal amount is all I've ever used. And I never started spraying. I have sprayed it on that area in my back, which is really kind of hard to get to, but I only did it after I realized that creepy crawly feeling is gone. So I'm like, I'm going to get it some more. But it went away with just the normal amount, 5 sprays twice a day, basically.
And you are also have been on the Cell Defender before that and during that time also. So you're on both products.
Yeah, since June of 2021, I've been on the Cell Defender.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. Yeah. And somebody asked about Thane. I don't know if you're still there, but I believe I know the answer to the little gal that you were talking, the little girl that started talking again. And and Chip can kind of come in on this too. She was not labeled autistic, by the way. There were just issues. Is that right, Thane?
Correct. Yeah, she actually was diagnosed with something entirely different, which actually deals with the portion of her frontal lobes not actually getting the neurological stimulation that she needed to be able to join reality, so to speak. So she definitely was not on the autism spectrum.
Okay. I appreciate that, because it is important to know, guys, this is the message. And Neil has pointed it out. We pointed it out during this call it's really important for people to know it really doesn't matter what you're dealing with. Not that we don't care, but we don't make medical claims because these are natural products. But isn't it amazing that it doesn't matter what's wrong with your body, that you can get some help and help your body to get in position to where it can possibly help or heal itself through anything? And we're not making a medical cure saying we're going to cure you in every situation, but if you will be consistent and continue to take the products, and over time, it's a cumulative and progressive. And as Brianna was talking about, our new friend that's 75, I think she was, or 76, and she feels like she's reversing healing. I mean, her aging. Isn't that amazing to be able to say in your 70s that I'm feeling younger? And is that normal in our world? I mean, that's not a normal thing that people can say is, I'm getting older in years, but I'm feeling younger. But here we have this happening many, you'll hear most of the people on the call saying, man, I feel better. I'm doing more than I have. What an amazing message we have. So that's awesome. We have time for, well, let's see, Chipper, I think we better bring you in because I'm going to try to keep it to an hour call. It's really hard when we get together, isn't it? And have so many testimonials to share. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Chip, you're on. Please come in and close this call for us, as you do fabulously.
Well, so much in this particular call. My mind is like a a pinball machine with 6 balls up at once. It's all running around in there. And I'm thinking, okay, what was hurting these people? You know, you look at this and you think, okay, was that particular thing alive? Was it dead? And then what was the mechanism? How was Avini able to step in and make that difference? And for some of them, I know the answer because I've seen it over and over again. For other ones, it really sets me to thinking. But I have to go back maybe to the beginning of the call. Sometimes I start at the back and go forward, but Neil really opened something up at the beginning of the call. I don't know if you caught, but if you can reach Ruby Executive, you get to come to the Emerald and Diamond function on Thursday evening to prepare to be one of the main people preparing mentally to host the other people at the call. So what happens at an event like that? You know, we get together, you know, we get our acquaintances renewed and get all freshened up, share stories, because we need to be the hosts over the next few days. And I want everybody on this Zoom that's coming to conference to imagine that you are also one of the key host people when you come to conference. And someone is probably going to judge the entire Avini experience on their conversation, maybe in the hallway with you. And so it becomes so important to be prepared to interact with people when you come to this. I kind of got a kick out of some of the one-liners in the call. And Neil said, if you're healthy, take Avini. Well, that's kind of the opposite of what most people are playing this. I mean, I don't like to say ambulance chasing, but if we don't have a group of people that are out looking for sick people, I don't know who do. But the concepts here are applicable to people that are in very high performance points of their lives. And if you're not, we'll get you there, and then it's still applicable to you. So when somebody asks, okay, when do I start? Well, immediately. When do the benefits start? Well, they start immediately. When do I stop? Well, I recommend that you stop on the same day that you quit brushing your teeth for the same reason, because using Avini products is really hygiene. What's the most powerful thing you can do to help yourself? It's daily habits, and hygiene is certainly one of those. So then I got a kick. Pat Tracy didn't say this today. She didn't come on, but she wrote it today. And she said, she calls, and she was talking specifically about nano silver, but I think you could talk the Avini product line is anti-everything, but it's also pro-everything good. So we're stopping everything bad and we're assisting everything good. And so it really is it's like algebra. You take this huge complex, equation. Neil's our mathematician here, being prepared to be an astronaut. And now we're finally getting him off the ground. We're finally using that big mind of his, maybe to the ultimate use. We're finally using zeolite for the ultimate use. I mean, we've all looked up the things that zeolite can be used for, but what's the ultimate use of it? What's the ultimate use of snake venom? Maybe to catch a rabbit if you're a snake, but to help the entire realm of human existence to live in more comfort's got to be a big thing too. I got to marvel at Joy overnight. And if you can imagine being suspicious that you've been overtaken by something, and whatever it is trying to crawl out through your eyeballs, right? And it's leaving little gel tracks, and you can feel it under the skin, and it's not just there, it's everywhere. And what a story. I have to marvel at these gatherings. You think, okay, and I know Robin's the same way. An hour or two before the call, she's thinking, okay, I feel like I'm undergunned for today. What's possibly going to come that measures up to all the calls that came before about Avini? Well, now we know, because it has happened once again, right? So it has happened once again. So Joy, thank you for being, the new person on the block. And we run on hope and fear, and Joyce expressed that so beautifully. I hope it works, but I fear the disappointment if it doesn't, if it almost feels like it's going to do something, but it doesn't. I fear my own imagination is going to trick me into thinking it works again. All the things that I've attempted. Brianna brought that up as well, where she had gone through, you're pretty darn desperate if you take IV antibiotics. But what was going wrong with Brianna? I got to have the wonderful experience, and I don't know if this will ever see the list in AviniHealthTraining.com, but Brianna obviously I'm listening to Brianna and I'm thinking, okay, we got to get her to talk at conference, right? I mean, what a series of stories. The only thing is we might have to add a day, because once she starts, I mean, she's got so many stories to tell. But what was going on with her? And part of it they think may have been a tick bite, but I heard her interviewed by a natural oncologist with an additional specialty in tick bites. And he brought her on his podcast to interview her, and she carried that program. I mean, she was so articulate and her experiences are so amazing. And when you're losing your hair, that's the opposite of the evidence of things hoped for. Yeah, what is the evidence of the unseen and the things hoped for and things unseen? Hebrews 11:1, whatever it is. So, but when your hair is falling out, that's the opposite of that, right? You're not seeing the evidence of things hoped for and the things that are unseen are happening. But when all of a sudden Paige and Joy and Brianna and Jacob that was wrecking his car over, I mean, why do you keep getting in a car if you keep blacking out and totaling them? Isn't there some danger in there someplace? Aren't we glad that Rick came along? And I really jumped out at me about that. Jacob got the suspicion somehow from Thane, and I'm not sure whether it was in the Plus Energy or in the Trim Science. I didn't get that detail, but that's the places where the neurotropins and adaptogens are in our product line, is those two places. Rick was the first guy to ever look at a daily morning drink like coffee and put neurotropins in it. That I love going back to his history because it's so wealthy. You know, you go clear back to working with 2 Nobel Prize winners as a computer-assisted drug designer, trying to make it so that chemotherapy doesn't hurt you as bad. I mean, that's where he started out. Now, later on, he's the first guy to put neurotropins and adaptogens in coffee, called it Java Lean, and the slogan was, "Get lean with the bean." I thought that was pretty clever. I like the rhyming thing. Now, who would have watched that category of nutritionals grow over the years but Rick Deitch? Who would have been putting away in his mind, okay, I got to have that in there. I got to have that in there. I could deal with this problem in that way. And all of a sudden, here comes Trim Science. And we have the entire array of his best ideas, not just for making your body the best shape and the best leanness that it can be, but to have better mental and physical acuity and agility as well, right? And so for some people, for several people in today's conversation, it was one after another with some sort of a neurological tick. Thank you, Marcy. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I was having trouble getting my verse going. Thanks, Marcy. Yeah. So if we don't have that, who does? And when you can see something, then your suspicion flips over to the other side, and you begin to think, okay, I mean, Joy's got to be thinking, right? I wonder what else is going right inside of me. All these people have to be thinking, I wonder what else this could be going right inside of us. Thane, 6 inches of snow, he's out there making snow angels. Something about that headset, Thane, I could hear you more clearly. Maybe the snow's reflecting that your voice was beautifully clear today. And the stories, Thane apparently has some sort of an antenna up that attracts miracles to him. It seems like everybody he talks to has an amazing miracle. So Neil at the end of the call said, your responsibility and your opinion's the most important one. I think, yeah. Oh my goodness, aging backwards. You know, we talked about aging backwards. Isn't that great? I think that's kind of my little summary of our call today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Love it, Chip. You're awesome. And I had Rosemary. I didn't see the chat. Rosemary has something fun to share, and she doesn't usually get to be on with us on Tuesdays. She has another engagement she has to be on. So Rosemary, are you there? Can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi there. Share with us.
Well, I just wanted to mention how important it is to follow up with people who buy products from your website, customers or even distributors that are doing that without your knowledge. because I sent an email to somebody who did just that. She bought some products a while ago, and she finally emailed me with this information, with her apologies for not getting back to me. She says, I've been dealing with fatigue since approximately March of 2021. I've had my own intuitive feeling it was related to the jab, I'll just say. I tried eating better and drinking more water. She got a filter, she says, but still so tired and needing an afternoon nap on my days off. Anyway, fast forward to now, and my dog has had diarrhea the past 3.5 weeks and tried all kinds of holistic things, but nothing seemed to work. And she goes on a little bit about how she found me through a mutual friend who's, by the way, I hope you get to meet her at some point because her business in Avini is growing leaps and bounds. She says she received the zeolite on February 10 and took it that day, 10 drops, once in the afternoon and 10 at night. And I've been keeping it with it the past few days, and my goodness, I feel 5 to 10 years younger. And since I noticed almost instant results, I gave 10 drops to my dog and have been doing that once daily too. I'm happy to report her stool was solid for the first time in weeks today, so I immediately ordered more and plan to take it daily for maintenance, unless you suggest something else. So she's asking for more help and advice and some guidance. And I just thought, wow, that's an immediate effect. You do want to follow up with your people and make sure that they get your emails. So it's important. The stories are there, and sometimes you don't get to talk to them on the phone or in person. You get an email like that.
Awesome. Oh, thank you, Rosemary. What an awesome message. Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding us all. We do. That's part of what we do in Avini is we service people. We love them, we care about them, and we follow up. So thank you. That is awesome, Rosemary. With that, we're going to close this recording. Thank you, Howard, for all your help on this call, and everyone that shared. We are so grateful for everything that you shared today.